Guys, hey, I'm shook. I'm so shook. My brain cannot handle what I just saw. I just got home from watching Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh my god, I got home! But I wasn't that far from home. The theater's like 10 minutes away, so he was farther than I was. This movie destroyed me. It shook all my expectations. I went into this movie thinking it would be good. It looked good. I just didn't think it would be this good, like a top level Marvel movie. So many things about it blew my mind. Let me get my stuff together. Let me calm down a bit. This is my non-spoiler and spoiler review of Spider-Man Far From Home. The first part of this video will be spoiler free. I'm gonna go over all the basics like cast, effects, my overall thoughts. I'm gonna rate it, all that stuff. And then right after that, we are gonna get into spoilers. Don't worry, I will warn you when spoilers are about to start. I'm basically gonna tell y'all the whole movie and my thoughts on every part of the movie, because there is so much to say. This movie is full of everything. Comedy, action, emotion, like literally everything. So I wanted to start with my thoughts on Homecoming. I know it came out a few years ago, but I never reviewed it because I just started this channel. Basically, I thought Homecoming was a good movie, not great. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. The villain, to me, Vulture, was very, very weak. Just kind of a boring villain. He could fly, yay. So can Falcon, hello. I don't know, it felt very anticlimactic. So I was expecting this movie to be good, but just kind of like continue that kind of smaller MCU movie type of thing. I was wrong. Far From Home feels huge. It feels epic. It feels, like I said before, a top tier MCU movie. It's incredible. Let's talk about the cast. So, Tom Holland, we love him. He's an icon. He was born to be Spider-Man. No one else could take his place. He is the perfect Peter Parker. And in this movie, I feel like we see more sides to his character and we go in a little deeper, and he has a lot of character development and growth. He is just wonderful. His energy just makes you smile. He's radiant. He's a cover girl. He is just incredible. Now, Zendaya as MJ in Homecoming, I felt like, first of all, they barely showed her. And when they did show her, it was just her being sarcastic. Which worked in that movie because it was just, you know, she was kind of like a little comedic relief, right? And then we found out at the end, oh my god, she's MJ. In this movie, she is still sarcastic and funny, but we see a much softer, more awkward side to her, and it makes her so much more likable, and it makes her feel like a stronger character because weak people don't show their emotions and their softer side. Strong people do, y'all. Also, Zendaya's and Tom Holland's chemistry is just off the charts. They have this adorable, awkward puppy love relationship. It's so cute. They like smirk at each other and they look away and they're like, oh! They're just like so awkward, and it's adorable, and it works so well in this movie. Now, Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson was amazing as always. Fury is such a tough, hard character, but like, even when he's being such a tough ass, you can see underneath that, under all that, he has such a soft heart. And we saw that heart in Captain Marvel, which I loved so much. Jake Gyllenhaal as Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. Oh my gosh, y'all, no spoilers. Don't worry until later. But I love Mysterio so much. He is an amazing character. He's so interesting. He has so many layers. Jake Gyllenhaal did such an amazing job with his acting. Like, it was incredible. We will talk more about Mysterio later on in the video. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, iconic. She is so likable. She's a cool mom. You know what I mean? I'm a cool mom. In my opinion, in the old Spider-Man movies, I always thought, like the Tobey Maguire ones, I always thought that Aunt May had such a bad attitude. She was always like rude about everything. I don't know, was that just me? Marissa just slays it. She is Aunt May. She's fresh, she's wonderful, and she's very motherly and warm and strong at the same time. And then we have Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, of course. I loved him so much in this movie. In the past MCU movies, I've always been like, who cares about Happy? Like, honestly, like, whatever. He's not cool. He doesn't have powers. But in this movie, he's so fatherly. He's so sweet and so supportive, and I just love him. He's like Peter's Zani, okay? Last but not least, Jacob Batalon as Ned. I like Jacob as an actor. I think that he's a good actor. I don't love Ned. I just don't think Ned's that likable. He has a few funny jokes here and there, but as a character, I'm not a big fan. Now let's talk about the costumes. So the Iron Spider suit, I'm not a big fan of. I feel like it had its moment in Infinity War and Endgame. I just feel like it doesn't fit into Spider-Man's world. It's also kind of bulky on his shoulders and it looks very Iron Man to me, and I want Spider-Man and Iron Man to be separate entities. I don't know, but anyways, not a big fan of that suit, but I love his stealth suit. Oh my god, it's so cool. It looks very fabric-y, but in a good way. It has like different textures on it. I love the little goggles that pop up. And no spoilers yet, but the sequence, like the action sequence, when he's in that suit is such a cool, memorable sequence that it makes the suit feel very memorable, you know? Last but not least, his new spider suit with the black sides and the red. I don't know if it has a name, does it? If it does, tell me in the comments below. I love it. It looks like classic Spider-Man, but the black adds a sophistication to it and like a coolness. I think it's great. So, and then of course, I have to talk about Mysterio's costume. It's so cool. It's kind of Iron Man-y with like the lights, but then the cape is very Doctor Strange. And then the fishbowl, I'm obsessed with the fishbowl. It's like, is Nemo in there? Where is he? I'm trying to find him. He just looks so cool, and when he has his like powers going and those little triangles show up, it's very Doctor Strange as well. I love it. Let's talk about the CGI. So it looks incredible throughout the whole movie. I don't think I saw one shot that didn't look like that real. Of course, like sometimes you can tell if it's CGI, but I didn't see one shot that looked bad. You know, like how there's like bad CGI and you're like, oh, that's a video game. Nothing like that. It all looked incredible. The elementals looked insane, just flawless. This movie overall is just, it's everything. It is, in my opinion, the best Spider-Man movie ever made, ever, and one of the best MCU movies. It's so funny, it's so much fun. It's probably the most fun movie in the MCU. It's just such a good time, and it kept my attention the whole time. There's not one boring part in this movie. And I can't say a lot more without spoiling anything, so let's rate this movie and then move into the spoiler section of this video. In my opinion, I'm gonna give this movie 10 Mysterio helmets out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. Legit, it's that good. I wouldn't change anything about it. Anything. It's perfection. So now it's time for spoilers. I'm warning you now. The rest of this video will be filled with spoilers. A ton of spoilers, an endless amount. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, don't watch. If you do want to hear spoilers, or if you've seen the movie, stick around, girl. We have a lot to talk about. Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. The movie starts with Nick Fury and Maria Hill driving, I think, in Mexico, because they're investigating a storm that had a face on it. Anyways, they get there and they see an elemental. I think it's the Earth one. And it's like rising, and then Mysterio pops in and is like, you don't want any part of the And then of course the Marvel logo starts playing, and I was not expecting this, but the song that's playing is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, one of the best songs of all time, and I was like, what? Why is this playing? And then all of a sudden, pictures of Tony, Cap, Vision, Natasha, they all pop up as like a memorial, and I was screaming. I was so shook. I was like, oh my god. I was laughing so hard because it is like meant to be funny. It's a tribute that Peter Parker's school made. So it's like played off as a big joke, and it's iconic. It's like the perfect intro. We see Peter at school. He's talking to Ned. They're about to go on this big school trip all around Europe, and he has this whole plan, you know, trying to woo MJ. And she is just like, hey Peter. Now, during all this, Spider-Man is ignoring Nick Fury's calls, which you cannot do to Nick Fury, y'all. So they go on this trip, and the whole plane scene is so funny because Peter's trying to sit next to MJ and things get all mixed up. It's hilarious. And there's so many little like funny moments of them like getting to Europe with the teacher, and there's like music playing. It's so much fun. And then of course, an elemental shows up, okay? And Peter's like, get everyone to safety, Ned. Everyone's gonna see my face. I didn't bring my suit. That was me trying to sound straight. No, wait. I didn't bring my suit. And so Ned gets them all to go inside, and Peter tries to fight this water elemental. I think it's called, not Aquaman. That's DC, girl. Oceanic Man, Moana. Oh, wait, what is it called? Hydro Man, that's it. So he's trying to fight Hydro Man, and then Mysterio shows up and like starts to save the day, right? And there's this huge sequence of them trying to stop this Hydro Man together, and it's epic. Peter has a masquerade mask on because he's trying to hide his face, and that's all that he could find. There's so much destruction. Hydro Man is just bursting through bridges and buildings, and Spider-Man is literally trying to hold up buildings with his bare hands. It's madness. Such a fun action sequence. And then of course Mysterio kills it, blah blah blah. Anyways, that night, Nick Fury shows up and recruits Spider-Man to come to this underground place. And he meets Mysterio, and they tell him all about the elementals and how Mysterio is from another universe. Well, not universe, dimension. And the elementals literally destroyed his Earth. Like, the fire one burned it completely. I was shook. I was like, damn. But Peter is so focused on MJ and the school trip that he's like, I can't do it. I'm so sorry. You have to get someone else, like get Captain Marvel, my queen. But they're all busy. They only have Spider-Man, but still, he's like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. So he goes back to his friends, and Fury had given him a pair of Tony's glasses that Tony left for him. The next day, Peter tries them on the bus, right? And they have an AI in them, and her name is Edith. And Tony named her that because I think it stands for Even Dead I am the hero. Even dead, I am the hero, I think that's what it was. Which is so funny. Like, even though Tony's dead, he still had jokes throughout this whole movie. It was iconic. Anyways, of course, Fury doesn't take no for an answer. So he kind of hijacks the whole trip by giving them like a free bus ride to this other destination. I think it was Prague. And at this destination, Peter sees this like woman agent. And so he goes into that room privately, and she's like, take off your clothes, I have a new suit for you. It's like, Scarlet Witch? She stole your accent, girl. Is that why it's gone now? So Peter takes off his pants, and right then, one of Peter's, excuse me, I just ate a crepe. One of Peter's classmates who likes MJ a lot too, he takes a picture, thinking that Peter is like cheating on MJ even though they're not together. Still, it looks bad. So he took a picture and ran out, and then Peter gets back on the bus and sees that he's about to show MJ the photo, and Peter kind of accidentally almost kills him. He like tells Edith this guy's a target, like kind of by accident, and Edith sends a drone to shoot him, to literally kill this student. So Peter is trying to stop the drone from killing the student without his suit so everyone can see. So he's like distracting them, all this stuff, and he's trying to stop this drone. It's a hilarious scene. Of course he stops it, but the whole sequence had me on the edge of my seat. I was shook. I was like, is this really happening? Like, they just went there, and I loved it so much. So basically, they get to the next destination, I think, or something, and Peter agrees to fight the elementals. So he has his stealth suit on, and him and Mysterio fight the final elemental, the Molten Man. I think that's his name. And it's at like a carnival. It is one of the coolest action sequences in this movie. It's so much fun. It's in the trailer, like when he's like running on the building in his stealth suit. Oh my gosh. And like they can barely handle this like a Molten Man. So Mysterio kind of sacrifices himself and is like, I should have done this on my planet. And then he like takes all this energy into him and then blasts into the Molten Man and like explodes him. And when he explodes, like tons of green magic glitter is flowing everywhere. It's so pretty. We love Mysterio's glittery powers. So allegedly all the elementals are now dead, and Peter and Mysterio are kind of celebrating at a bar type of thing. Peter is just talking from his heart, and it's like, I don't think I can be the next Iron Man. I think you should be the next Iron Man. So here's Edith. You take Edith. You take the glasses. They're all yours. And Mysterio's like, I can't. I couldn't. And Spider-Man's like, please, I just want to have fun with my girl. He literally gives Edith like to Mysterio. Like he tells her, he's your boss now basically, so follow his orders basically. Mysterio's like, thank you. Oh my god. And then Peter leaves, and we find out that Mysterio is evil. And we kind of knew this because of like the comics. He's super evil. He's a past employee of Tony Stark, and he's trying to get revenge because Tony like took his tech and like named it Barf. Literally. So he's like super upset, and Tony had let him go because he was unstable. I mean, hello, yes Tony, yes King, do what you have to do. And so Mysterio has a bunch of little minions. They're also past employees of Tony Stark, and their plot is to make Mysterio the greatest superhero on Earth. And they're doing that by creating these huge villains, the Elementals, with drones. There's like tons of drones that like come together and project this image of the Elemental, and then use like bullets and all that stuff to actually destruct. So they're doing that so that Mysterio can defeat them and look really good and basically be the next Iron Man. Now this scene where he's like revealed as the villain is such a good scene because of Jake Gyllenhaal's acting. He immediately changes his whole personality and he's a whole different character. It's incredible. It's so convincing. He seems legit crazy. He has like crazy eyes, and it's also done in kind of a cheesy way, but it's a good kind of cheesy. It's like trying to be cheesy, like very comic booky. It's just such a good scene. And later on it shows them testing out the Elementals in like a test room, and they show all the tech. They go in depth with it. It's so cool. In fact, Mysterio's whole outfit is a projection. It's fake. He has a damn motion capture suit on. Like the ones that they use to create Thanos and the Hulk and all that stuff behind the scenes. So then Peter goes back to his friends. He finds MJ and he's like, you wanna go out? Like, do you wanna just like ditch this joint? He doesn't say it like that, but he's like, let's just go. Let's go. And she's like, yeah. And so they leave and they're on like this like bridge, and he is about to tell her how he feels and give her this little necklace that he bought her earlier in the movie. So adorable, I cannot. And then she guesses that he's Spider-Man. She's like, are you gonna tell me that you're Spider-Man? And he's like, no, I'm not Spider-Man. And she's like, yes you are. I've been watching you. And she's so good in this scene. She's so hilarious. I love it so much. And then she shows him that she found this like piece of metal with like web on it, and she's like, is this your web? Or something like that. And he's like, what? And then I think that she drops it or he drops it, and it starts projecting an elemental. So this piece of metal that she found is literally a piece of Mysterio's projectors and drones, and they see a fake Mysterio fighting the elemental, and he's like, oh my gosh, Mysterio's bad. And then he's like, I am Spider-Man, okay, I have to go. And I love how she played this scene. She was like, what? Wait, I wasn't sure. She was shook, and it was so believable. And so basically he gets back in his stealth suit and leaves to go find Mysterio. He goes to some kind of a Fury headquarters or something like that. The whole headquarters is a projection. Even Fury and Maria Hill are projections. And it all dissipates, and it's this like abandoned building. And I was shook. I was like, whoa. I didn't know Mysterio was that powerful. That's crazy. Anyways, Mysterio starts to fight him, but he fights him inside of different projections, like different worlds and different rooms, and it's madness. This is like my favorite action sequence in the movie. It's crazy. It's like Doctor Strange meets Spider-Man. It's so cool. It's just very fantasy. There's a dead zombie Iron Man that comes to like attack Peter. It's crazy, and it's all fake. And Peter is so confused that he kind of walks in front of a train because like Mysterio kind of like leads him there, and the train hits him, and somehow he doesn't die. I guess because he does have super strength, and he has, you know, probably like rejuvenation, not rejuvenation, like healing powers and stuff like that. He didn't die, but he's all damaged and bruised. And basically Happy picks him up, and they have a very emotional conversation about Tony. And it's such a good scene. Both of them are so good in this. Their acting is incredible. Tom's little tears, I cannot. They kind of talk it out, and basically he gets his stuff back together, and he decides to go fight Mysterio because Mysterio is headed for London, and he's gonna attack with a huge elemental. And so Happy shows Peter that he can make a new suit in this like little suit vessel thing. And so he does, and as he's making it, Iron Man's music plays. I think it's Iron Man's or it's the Avengers. Someone's music plays. He's like doing all this tech stuff, and he looks like Tony when Tony used to do his tech stuff, and Happy just smiles and just gives him this look, and it's so heartwarming. So they get to London for the huge final battle, which is, I think, all the elementals put together into one giant elemental, because I saw some fire, some water, some air, I saw everything, some storms. And of course, Mysterio comes in and saves the day, or is trying to, and it's just a projection of Mysterio. It isn't even him. He's somewhere else giving orders. This is such an epic battle. It feels like so like dangerous. It feels truly scary. But there's so many drones that it takes a while for him to kill most of them. It's crazy. But he does kill like probably half of them. And Zendaya fights a little too, which I loved seeing. And then basically Spider-Man actually finds the real Mysterio in this little bridge tunnel type of thing. They fight in a projection and Peter uses his Peter Tingle to find each of the drones. It's epic. And then basically Mysterio acts like he's been shot when he hasn't. His projection has been shot and he's on the floor and Peter's like talking to him, but then Peter's tingle kicks in and he can feel Mysterio's presence, like the real Mysterio behind him about to shoot him in the head. So he stops him and the real Mysterio allegedly dies. But then again, he is Mysterio, so we're not sure if he's actually dead. I just can't describe how epic the whole final act is. Like, you guys just need to see it in person. It's crazy. And then the movie ends with Peter picking up MJ to go swing around New York City. And it's so funny because it is done in a very realistic way. In the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, when they would swing around, Kirsten Dunst was always just like, ooh, a little bit of wind in my hair, ooh, and she was all glamorous. Zendaya is like, oh my God, help me. And her hair is going everywhere and she's like, oh my, I don't like this, I don't like it. And then he accidentally drops her and the movie ends right there. But of course he caught her. Now the end credit scenes, oh my God, the first one shows them still swinging and then he drops her off and she's like, I'm not doing that again, hell no. And then they see on the screen a edited video of Mysterio saying, Spider-Man's trying to kill everyone, he's in charge of all the drones, and it's made to seem like Spider-Man killed Mysterio. And then J. Jonah Jameson from the old Spider-Man trilogy pops up, which is crazy to me, pops up and is like, Spider-Man's a menace. And then more video of Mysterio plays and he's like, Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and he shows his picture and Spider-Man's like, what? And then it ends. Oh my God, that's gonna change everything, y'all. That changes Spider-Man's whole storyline from here on out. He's now known as Peter Parker. That's crazy. And then the second end credit scene shows that the whole time Maria Hill and Nick Fury were Skrulls. You know, the aliens from Captain Marvel, my favorite movie. They are Talos and his wife. And basically, they were just filling in for Nick Fury because Nick Fury is on vacation in space on this giant Skrull headquarters that I think is the new Avengers headquarters. I'm not sure, but I think it is. It's huge. It's like a huge spaceship. And then it ends. So that's it, y'all. That's the whole damn movie. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts down below. Or if you haven't seen it, let me know how it sounds to you. And of course, if you're gonna talk about spoilers, add like a spoiler warning in the comment or something like that, okay? But yeah, I love to talk to y'all in the comments. It's so much fun to talk about movies together. So let me know. By the way, y'all, that scary movie Midsummer is coming out tonight and I'm going to watch it and review it. So stay tuned for that. Bye!